Hello, and welcome to Sleep Stories World. I'd like to invite you to step into a world of relaxation and tranquility with this bedtime story, designed to help you unwind and de-stress. By engaging in this story, you can embark on a journey that nurtures and soothes your mind, promoting overall well-being through sound, restful sleep. Before we begin, let's prepare your space for rest. Ensure you're somewhere comfortably cool, dark, and quiet. If you need to adjust anything, your curtains, your temperature, your pillows, please do so now. When you're ready, lie down and let yourself settle into your bed. Feel the weight of your body being supported. You may want to cover yourself with a light blanket as your body relaxes. Now, gently close your eyes. There's nothing you need to see anymore tonight. Your only task now is to be here, allowing yourself to receive the gift of rest. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Breathe in deeply, feeling your chest expand. Breathe out, feeling your body sink deeper into your bed. In and out. With each breath, you're signaling to your body that it's safe to rest. Now, imagine being surrounded by a warm, vibrant light. This light is gentle and comforting, carrying with it a deep sense of peace and safety. As you breathe in, let this warm light fill your chest. As you breathe out, imagine it spreading gently through your upper body. Breathe in, and let the light expand through your shoulders, your arms, your back. Breathe out, and feel it filling your stomach, your neck, your head, every space within you glowing softly. If a thought comes by, acknowledge it like watching a leaf float by on a gentle stream, and then let it drift away. There will be time for those thoughts later. Now is for rest. On your next breath in, let the warm light travel downward. Feel it reach your hips, your thighs, your knees. Breathe out, and sense it flowing down to your ankles, to your toes. Every part of you now is surrounded by this gentle, warm glow. You are completely enveloped in comfort and peace. Focus on your breath and the warm light surrounding you. If your mind wanders, simply guide it back, gently, to your breath, to the light. You are safe. You are comfortable. You are exactly where you need to be. As we move into tonight's story, allow yourself to let go even more. Let the words wash over you like a gentle tide. You don't need to follow every detail. Simply receive the story as a gift, a soft companion as you journey toward sleep. And now, let us begin. In the vastness of the Arctic winter, life persists in forms both familiar and extraordinary. Beyond the polar bears and Arctic foxes, beyond the seals beneath the ice, there are other creatures that call this frozen world home. Some fly through the darkness on silent wings. Others burrow beneath the snow. Some stand in herds against the wind, while others hop about seeking seeds beneath the surface. Let us begin with a bird, a hunter of the darkness, the snowy owl. The snowy owl is one of the largest owl species on Earth. Males can weigh about 1.6 kilograms, roughly 3.5 pounds, while females are even larger, sometimes reaching 2.5 kilograms, about 5.5 pounds. Their wingspan can exceed 1.5 meters, nearly 5 feet from tip to tip. Unlike most owl species, which are creatures of the forest and the night, the snowy owl lives in open tundra and hunts during the day. Or rather, during what passes for day in the Arctic winter. In the polar night, when the sun never rises, the snowy owl hunts in perpetual twilight, in the dim blue darkness, in the brief moments of dawn-like glow that appear around midday. Their eyes are remarkable. Proportionally, an owl's eyes are enormous. If human eyes were the same relative size, they would be as large as oranges. These huge eyes gather every available photon of light, allowing the snowy owl to see in conditions that would leave us completely blind. But the snowy owl does not rely on vision alone. Like all owls, they possess extraordinary hearing. Their facial disc, the flat, round face that gives owls their distinctive appearance, acts as a parabolic reflector, focusing sound waves toward their ear openings. And those ear openings are asymmetrical, positioned at slightly different heights on either side of the head. This asymmetry is not an accident. It is a hunting adaptation. When a small animal moves beneath the snow, a lemming scurrying through its tunnels, it creates tiny sounds. These sounds reach the owl's ears at fractionally different times and from slightly different angles. The owl's brain processes this information instantly, creating a precise three-dimensional map of where the sound originated. The snowy owl can hunt by sound alone. It can pinpoint prey moving beneath 30 centimeters, nearly a foot, of snow, and strike with perfect accuracy, plunging its talons through the snow to grasp an animal it has never seen. During the breeding season in summer, a single snowy owl family can consume more than 1,500 lemmings. That's roughly 1,600 prey animals in the span of a few months. But in winter, when lemmings are scarce and hidden deep beneath the snow, the owls must work harder for each meal. Snowy owls are nomadic. Unlike many Arctic animals that have defined territories, snowy owls wander, moving wherever prey can be found. In winters when lemming populations crash, which happens in cycles of about 3 to 5 years, snowy owls may leave the high Arctic entirely, traveling south in what ornithologists call an eruption. During eruption years, snowy owls have been recorded as far south as the northern United States, sitting on fence posts in farm fields, on beaches, even on buildings in cities. They are searching for food, for anything to replace the lemmings they depend upon. But not all birds leave when winter comes. The common raven stays throughout the darkest months, earning its reputation as one of the hardiest birds on Earth. Ravens are members of the corvid family, a group that includes crows, jays, and magpies, and they are among the most intelligent of all birds. They can solve complex problems, use tools, plan for the future, and even engage in what appears to be play. In the Arctic winter, ravens survive by being opportunistic. They are omnivores and scavengers, eating almost anything they can find. They follow polar bears, waiting for a chance to steal scraps from a seal kill. They patrol shorelines, searching for marine organisms washed up by storms. They eat berries, seeds, insects frozen in the snow, bird eggs when available, and carrion, the frozen remains of animals that didn't survive. Ravens have been observed caching food, hiding it in numerous locations across their territory and remembering where they placed each item. This remarkable spatial memory allows them to create a network of food reserves scattered across the landscape, ensuring they have resources even during the harshest weather. One of the raven's most remarkable adaptations to cold is behavioral. On the coldest days, ravens fluff their feathers extensively, creating a thick layer of insulating air around their bodies. They can increase their apparent size by nearly 50% simply by adjusting their plumage. Beneath this insulation, their body temperature remains a constant 40 degrees Celsius, about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, even when the air temperature is -40. Ravens also have specialized blood vessels in their legs. The arteries carrying warm blood from the body run alongside veins carrying cold blood back from the feet. This countercurrent heat exchange system pre-cools the arterial blood and pre-warms the venous blood, minimizing heat loss through the feet while preventing the feet from freezing. But what do the snowy owls hunt? What provides sustenance for the ravens when other food is scarce? The answer, very often, is the lemming. Lemmings are small rodents, typically weighing between 30 and 112 grams, about 1 to 4 ounces. There are several species in the Arctic, but all share similar adaptations to winter life. Unlike most Arctic animals, lemmings do not hibernate. They remain active throughout winter, living in an elaborate network of tunnels beneath the snow. This under-snow environment, the space between the frozen ground and the snowpack above, is called the subnivean zone. Subnivean comes from Latin, sub meaning under and niveus meaning snowy. The subnivean zone is a hidden world. Snow is an excellent insulator, and even when the air temperature above is -30 or -40 degrees Celsius, the temperature in the subnivean zone hovers near zero, right around freezing. This is still cold by most standards, but it is 30 to 40 degrees warmer than the exposed surface. Within this relatively protected environment, lemmings create an extensive tunnel system. They carve pathways through the snow to feeding areas where vegetation is accessible. They build nests of dried grass and moss. They even create latrines, designated bathroom areas, keeping their living spaces clean. Lemmings have an extraordinarily high metabolism. To maintain their body temperature in cold conditions, they must eat almost constantly, consuming roughly their own body weight in vegetation every day. They feed on grasses, sedges, moss, and woody plant shoots, whatever they can reach beneath the snow. This constant feeding supports year-round reproduction. Unlike most Arctic mammals, which breed only during the brief summer, lemmings can reproduce throughout winter in the subnivean zone. A female lemming can produce multiple litters between September and March, with each litter containing up to 8 young. This explains why lemming populations can explode during favorable conditions. But lemming populations are cyclical. Every 3 to 5 years, populations crash dramatically. Scientists are still studying exactly why this happens, but it appears to involve a combination of factors: predation pressure, food availability, stress, and possibly even the quality of available vegetation. When lemming populations are high, predators thrive. Snowy owls produce large clutches of eggs. Arctic foxes have big litters. But when lemming populations crash, the entire ecosystem feels the effect. Predators go hungry, reproduction declines, and some species, like the snowy owl, leave the Arctic entirely in search of food elsewhere. Now let us turn from the small to the large, from the lemming to the musk ox. The musk ox is an Ice Age survivor. Its ancestors evolved during the Pleistocene, the last Ice Age, and they once roamed across Europe, Asia, and North America alongside woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. As the climate warmed and the Ice Age ended, most of these species went extinct. But the musk ox survived in the far north, persisting in the one place that remained cold enough to suit them. A fully grown musk ox can weigh between 200 and 400 kilograms, roughly 450 to 900 pounds. Bulls are larger than cows, with massive curved horns that meet at the center of the forehead in a thick boss, a bony shield that can be used as a battering ram during the breeding season when males compete for females. But the musk ox's most distinctive feature is its coat. It consists of two layers. The outer layer is made of long, coarse guard hairs that can hang down nearly to the ground, giving the animal a shaggy, almost prehistoric appearance. Beneath this outer layer lies civiate, an inner coat of incredibly fine, soft wool. Civiate is one of the finest natural fibers in the world. Each fiber is only about 15 to 20 micrometers in diameter, finer than cashmere, finer than the softest merino wool. It is 8 times warmer than sheep's wool by weight and does not shrink in water. Indigenous peoples of the Arctic have long collected civiate, either by combing it from the animals during spring shedding or by gathering it from places where musk oxen have rubbed against rocks. This remarkable coat allows musk oxen to withstand temperatures that would be lethal to most mammals. They have been observed resting comfortably in conditions of -40 degrees Celsius with winds of 50 kilometers per hour, conditions that produce a wind chill equivalent to -70 degrees. Musk oxen are grazers, feeding on grasses, sedges, willows, and other Arctic vegetation. In winter, when plants are buried beneath snow, they use their broad hooves and strong heads to dig through the snow, creating feeding craters. Sometimes they must dig through 60 centimeters, nearly 2 feet, of packed snow to reach the frozen vegetation beneath. Unlike caribou, which migrate hundreds or even thousands of kilometers between summer and winter ranges, musk oxen are relatively sedentary. They remain in their territories year-round, moving only short distances between feeding areas. When threatened by wolves, their primary predator, musk oxen form a defensive circle. The adults face outward with their horns toward the threat, while calves are protected in the center. This formation is nearly impregnable. A full-grown musk ox with lowered horns is a formidable opponent, and wolves rarely risk a direct attack against a defensive herd. However, this defensive strategy, so effective against wolves, proved disastrous when humans arrived with firearms. A herd standing in a tight circle presented an easy target. By the early 20th century, musk oxen had been hunted to extinction across most of their range. They survived only in remote areas of northeastern Greenland and Arctic Canada. Conservation efforts in the mid-20th century brought musk oxen back from the brink. They were reintroduced to Alaska, where they had been extinct since the 1860s. They were also introduced to areas of Siberia, Norway, and Sweden where they had not lived in recent historical times. Today, muskox populations have recovered significantly, numbering around 130,000 to 150,000 individuals across the Arctic. These four creatures, the snowy owl, the raven, the lemming, and the musk ox, represent different strategies for surviving the Arctic winter. The owl is a specialized predator, perfectly adapted to hunt in near darkness. The raven is an intelligent generalist, using problem-solving skills and behavioral flexibility to exploit whatever resources become available. The lemming thrives by retreating beneath the snow, creating a hidden world where life continues despite the surface cold. And the musk ox simply endures, standing firm against the wind, insulated by a coat that evolved in the Ice Age and never needed improvement. Together with the polar bear, the Arctic fox, the ringed seal, and all the other species that inhabit this frozen realm, they form an ecosystem, a web of relationships and dependencies that functions even in the coldest, darkest months of the year. As you imagine these animals, the owl soaring silently overhead, the raven's dark form against white snow, the lemming safe in its tunnels, the musk oxen standing together against the wind, let their resilience fill your thoughts. They do not struggle against the Arctic winter. They are part of it. They belong to it. Let your breathing slow, like an animal at rest, conserving energy, peaceful and calm.